What's up guys, today I'm going to show you how to change out your equalizers and your shackles and leaf springs on a boat trailer. So I've got a 2014, it's a Marine Master trailer for a Phoenix boat. This is the new side over here. We've got shackles, new shackle springs, and everything's a wet bolt compared to this side over here. You can see it's pretty worn out, rusty, and everything gets elongated and just worn out. So basically, if you start hearing your trailer like popping a bunch when you're turning, things of that nature, it's usually, indication that this setup here is worn out. So this is the new equalizer and shackles, and like I said, they are wet bolts, so everything is greasable. Here's the bolts themselves. This is a Dexter kit. I will put the parts in the description here. This is the old equalizer. It looks a little beefier, but they're rated for the same amount. But the old shackles, very thin. New shackles, very thick. So it's rated for the amount. The springs that come on here, I actually ended up ordering the wrong springs at first. But the springs you're looking for are these guys here. They're 26 inches from eye to eye, and they are 1,500 pound capacity per spring, 3 leaves. And in here, you'll notice that's got a nylon bushing. We do not want that. So when you order this Dexter kit here, they're going to give you all the bushings that you need that are, I think these are brass. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they're brass. So everything's going to wear a whole lot better. It's going to be a lot quieter when you're, turning your trailer or whatever. It's just going to have a lot more life, longevity to it. So kind of show you how we go about this real quick. It's not too difficult. Obviously, get jacked up on the back. I keep it hooked up to my truck just because it keeps it from moving front to back. If you want to park it in your shop or something, just put the jack stand down and maybe block the front so it doesn't go left and right on you. Loosen all these up, get everything loose is what I do. Then I take a ratchet strap, which you can actually see how I had it over here. This is the easiest way I found. I take a ratchet strap and I just go around the bunk board to the axle on both of them, and it helps hold it, suspend it up for you. And then you can pop everything out, all your leaves and everything. It holds their axles in place, and you can put everything back in place. So when I did the other side, wasn't too bad. Didn't really have too much of a problem with stuck bolts or anything. The hardest part for me was these bolts underneath the hanger here on your leaf spring, and these are also a 20 millimeter. I think the issue is they had like a gator hide on there from the factory, and that made it just not happy to come off the nut. I ended up having to use like a breaker bar almost all the way around. The 1/2 inch Milwaukee was not enough to move it. That's pretty much, I think, all that I came into. You're not going to need anything crazy special for tools, really. Just your sorted socket set, deep wells, and I would recommend like a 2-pound hammer, because these bolts here are actually pressed like on the backside. They're knurled, so you actually have to hit them out. You can't really spin them out. And the only other thing, whatever kit you buy, maybe the newer Phoenix trailers are different or whatever, or Marine Master, whatever brand boat, they make a lot of trailers for a lot of different brands. But this particular bolt here, I ended up reusing. Number one, the bolt itself did not have to be a wet bolt, because if we looked at the other equalizer, it had the greasable top there, and it also, all the bolts that came with the kit are not long enough for this here, so I reused that bolt, but it's in good shape. So if you want to get a longer bolt, I think it needs to be 3.5 inches long, I believe. If you want to put a brand new bolt in there, that's what it needs to be. So I'm going to get everything set up here, and we'll run through it, and I'll show you exactly how it does, but it's not too bad. All right, we got everything busted loose. We put our ratchet straps on the bunks, just enough to hold the axles up a little bit. I'm gonna work on getting these hanger bolts off here. Put a little penetrating oil. Got the trusty torch out just in case. That seemed to work the best last time. I'm gonna try it without it first, and we'll go from there. All right, we got all that off. We got one real stubborn one, and now we are gonna get our hammer. We're gonna hit out all these bolts. Everything's gonna kind of fall down, gonna be held up by the ratchet strap. All right, I'm gonna get on the back side here and pull all these out. So if you take a look inside the old equalizer, you can see the bushing is pretty well shot. So you can get a little bit of elongation of some of the hole there. So it'll ride a lot smoother, a lot quieter, especially when turning and stuff, when you get all this tightened up and get some grease in there. So now we're gonna start putting the new stuff together here. We'll start by hanging the new equalizer here. Pretty simple. All right, next up is gonna be the springs. Okay, before we put these on, we wanna get these nylon bushings out and put our little brass ones in there. So all I wanna do is put this in a block of wood, and you get yourself an 11mm deep well socket. This is a 1/4 inch drive, and it'll fit right in here. Tap these old ones out and help you get the new ones in there. Put your new springs back on. You need to make sure you've got this little tab here, this clip, facing the front of the trailer. Okay, and we put these shackles on. When it's all said and done, it's supposed to be like this. You do not want it to be upside down like that. You want it to make essentially kind of like a W when it's all said and done. So I kind of take my spring, get it lined up so it's in the hanger. The first side's obviously really easy. And get it worked in. You're gonna want it to be like that when it's all said and done. So I'll kind of go work on the other side. You can briefly let it down like this kind of, and push up on the other one simultaneously, and it'll get everything situated, and then we'll tighten it all up. There we go. That's the orientation that you want it to be. I'll put the back side of the shackles on and get everything just finger tight, and then I will work on getting the hangers tightened up. And then you tighten the rest of this up, and that's pretty well it. Add a little grease, and we're good to go. All right, that's all there is to it. See, this is a little bit heavy duty compared to what was on there as far as your shackles go. New springs, new bushings everywhere with wet bolts. All that's left to do is grease her up. So literally just grease up every single grease fitting on here. Make sure they don't fall out either. Until you get everything popping out. Get a little grease coming out of all these bushings here. And on your top side here, you got your little grease zerk on the actual top of the equalizer on the back side here for that middle bolt there. But it'll make your trailer ride a whole lot quieter, a whole lot smoother when you're in and around turns and stuff, and just won't be popping and making all that racket. And you should get a lot of longevity out of this style of system here compared to what they come with from the factory. So hopefully that helps you guys. Like I said, not too tough. Maybe have a torch handy if your trailer's got this kind of gator hide type stuff on there, because I believe they overspray it on all the axles. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one.